Architecture was the fallback. The only other job I ever dreamed of, because we were from Michigan, was being a car designer. That would have been the coolest job ever, because cars, you do one design and there are millions of copies. Architecture, you do one design, one building. And if there's a second one, your client's really pissed off. I love to draw and I love to build things, exactly what you said. Lego and Lincoln Logs were a big part of what I did, and I drew a lot. My father was a clinical psychologist for General Motors, and he came home once, probably 9, 10, 11 years old, somewhere around there, and said, "Danny, you should be an architect." And that stuck. And I remember from that point on pretty much drawing buildings. I copied a lot of Frank Lloyd Wright houses. Loved doing that. Just, up until I was a teenager, just sketching what I saw in books or visits of that. And it was from there, and it just happened to be the right thing for me. I'm kind of the perfect hedgehog where you have an interest, you have a skill, and there's a market for that. And that just happened to work right for me. So I owe to my father coming home one day and dropping that one on me. High school art lessons, drafting lessons, college, day one in architecture school for 5 years, and then graduate school after that. So that was it. Also, I learned out pretty soon in life, probably about the same time, that I was not going to be a professional hockey player. So architecture was the fallback. The only other job I ever dreamed of, because we were from Michigan, was being a car designer. That would have been the coolest job ever, because cars, you do one design and there are millions of copies. Architecture, you do one design, one building. And if there's a second one, your client's really pissed off. I don't know why others are into it, but I just think it's such a big part of our lives. And really, if you think about it, it's a space that moves around, and now buildings are moving more than they should probably. But then in cars, you don't have to drive anymore, right? So all of a sudden in your car, you're going to be doing things that you would normally do in your business place or in your home. So maybe they're merging. Maybe all of us that were interested could finally get back into doing cars. I mean, look what's on the west side. The Shed is this enormous building. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's an enormous activity space for performances of all kinds. And it's huge. And the entire thing moves. It's fantastic. I went to school in the Midwest. Chicago was a natural place to go for those in the Midwest. I went there and for one interview, and I didn't see myself there. I love Chicago, and it is the first city of architecture for America, and I didn't see myself there. My instinct from day one was New York, and I came to New York. New York moves at the pace that I knew I wanted it to work. And as much as I loved Rome, where I studied, they don't build new buildings in Rome because the old buildings are too good, so there aren't many new buildings. But New York, things happen at a fast pace. There's a lot of influence internationally because it's a coastal city. And I found the large firms that I wanted to work with after graduate school. I started at Skidmore & Merrill, which was where I wanted to work because they were doing At that time, the mid-'80s, pretty much the largest urban development projects. And one anecdote on that, in the papers, I had seen a building for Columbus Circle that I thought was a very, very, very good design for what was emerging that was called postmodernism. But it was still a modern building that responded to the West Side buildings in New York. And I was in graduate school, I saw that, and I said, that's why I want to work at SOM. And after graduate school, I got a job working there, and I found out that my partner at this firm, Raul Diarmas, was the architect for that building. So it worked out incredibly that and that was in 1986. In 1991, when Raul and Leon started this firm, I went with him and did that. So it really started in seeing his design for Columbus Circle, which I still admire to this day. If you pay attention, it's just not all luck. It's a little bit of paying attention and making some plans, right? And following your gut. Leon says to young architects, my other partner who isn't working in the firm anymore, he said, when people ask, well, what kind of firm? He said, well, look at the architecture that's current and that which you admire, find out about that firm and see if there's a place for you there. I think that's always good advice.
It was such a pleasure to speak with Dan Shannon from MdeAS Architects. Thanks for watching AL13 Showcase, featuring architects in your city doing their best work to make your city a better livable place. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a like, tell us what you liked about it in the comments, and for more weekly content, make sure to hit subscribe.